Hello, my name is Julia Genoveva. Hope everyone is doing well. This is our 8th episode of It's Gonna Get Artsy, shining a spotlight off Broadway theater. My name is Julia Genoveva. My co-host, Gus Ferrari, unfortunately could not be here this evening because he is at a rehearsal for a show that he has this weekend. So let's give him a huge break legs. And he says hi to all our viewers, and I'm so happy to be here tonight with the playwright, director, and cast of the play This Witch Won't Burn, which is going to be part of the New York Theater Festival. Congrats, you guys. I am so happy. This festival is one of the very well-known festivals in New York. So yeah, that's a huge accomplishment. I'm really excited for you. So I would just like to have everyone give their name and introduce themselves to our viewers, please.
Hi, my name is Amira Abouelazm, but my stage name is Amira Appleblossom, or I'll say just my pen name because I'm a writer. I'm a writer and teacher based in New York City. I'm originally from Florida. I am the writer and director of this play, This Witch Won't Burn. And again, thank you so much, Julia, for having us on here. And yeah, I'm mostly a fiction writer, so writing plays is kind of a new thing for me. And I've enjoyed it so far. Yeah.
Great. And then Maria, if you can please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi guys, my name is Maria Agapi. I come from Greece. I'm an actress and a writer myself, but I'm very happy to participate in my friend's play. I feel very honored, and thank you for having us here, of course.
Of course, you're very welcome. And the last person is my good friend Serge, who I actually have known for quite a couple of years from our acting class, the Simon Studio. Serge, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you, Julia. Hey guys, hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Serge. My stage name is Serge, but you can call me Serge. I was born here in New York City. I was born as an artist. I've always liked to, do art since childhood. I've been doing acting ever since, for the past 20 years or so. I'm happy to be part of this production in This Witch Won't Burn. I play as the philosopher. And let's see, and I'm such a very unusual, unknown kind of guy. I'm very proud to be part of this production. Thank you. And I just want to make note that I'm right now in production of William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing as Don John. And also, and next will be This Witch Won't Burn. And then another play coming up, which I forgot the name of, but I will keep you posted and all.
Bravo, everyone. And Serge, congrats on all these roles that you're booking. That's amazing. So great. Amira, I really can't wait to hear more about this play, This Witch Won't Burn. I read the synopsis online, and I believe it was a philosopher meets a witch at a cemetery. Okay, let's dive into that.
You're like, what are we waiting?
Tell us more, and how did you even get this idea? I mean, I can't wait to hear more about this.
Well, the interesting thing was this came out during the pandemic. Dark times creates dark stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's funny because I was actually going to see plays around that time. A coworker of mine, Michael Thomas Kane, was a really good playwright and filmmaker, and he was, having a lot of short plays, which I didn't know was actually in the New York Film Theater Festival.
Wow.
So I go see a play around that time. And I saw it and I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, I never saw something like I could do something like that, because when I wrote the piece, exactly, I would say around January 2020, like right at the start or the height of the pandemic, it was something very personal. I never saw it as something that would be released to the public. It was something for me. Look, it was a healing process. It was about a breakup. And So I never saw it as like, oh yeah, people are, gonna read this, because it was just very personal piece. And I liked it that way, And I remember I only shared it with like two other really, really good friends who were like writers and filmmakers at that time. And they were like, yo, you could probably do something with this. And I was like, no. Like, the characters, I was like, this is just too much me. So I don't really want to see it. Like, I couldn't really dissect me from these characters, or specifically the witch. And so it was something that I created, but at that time I was like, this is going to be just a personal, just for me to reflect on. It never became something like I was going to see it on a stage.
Wow.
So when I met Maria, like about a year ago, right? So Maria's an actress, a great actress. And I met her about a year ago, a mutual friend, and I saw her plays. I went to go see her plays, and this was years after I wrote this play. So I was like, like after I saw her, I was like,
oh, it inspired you.
Character. Yeah, so it kind of inspired, and I sent her my play, and like I really appreciated it, but she believed in it. So I was like, maybe I can send it out. Something like it came to that point. So that sort of led to the process of like, and I did send it to other theaters. Some theaters rejected it. And when I sent it to, but I never felt like upset or anything. When I sent it to the New York Theater Festival, they're like, yeah, sure. We like more unique pieces and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. So I feel like it's meant to be that, you're doing your play at this time in the festival. And it's so nice that, Maria inspired you, and, you're putting it out there. So what happens in the play between the philosopher and the witch?
It's a lot of like banter. It's a lot of, vulnerabilities. It's a lot of trauma, problems within their relationship, but also traumas within their childhood that affect the relationship. And it's people that lack accountability,
Okay.
that's all sort of thrown out. Yeah.
So are they in is it a friendship, or is it like a romantic relationship that they're?
It's a romantic relationship.
Oh,
sure.
Wow. Okay.
It's a romantic relationship. And I have a funny story, because I wrote it about a certain person that I was seeing. And okay, I hope my students don't know this, but when I was teaching a class, like I gave them something to do and I wrote it in my class. Because all the juices were coming out. So I had to write it out. So I typed it up. Like it was meant to be written at that time. So yeah, as I was writing it, like he asked, oh, is this about us? I was like, oh, no, it's not. It's not.
Like, no, it's not. It's about something totally different.
It's some different people. Yeah, some different people. But it is about like a breakup, and the cemetery, it's death. But at the same time, I saw the cemetery as life as well, new beginnings. It's both to me.
Right. So, and I'm just so curious, because the premise sounds good, and
thank you.
I mean, all relationships are so complicated, especially when it's like two people that really care about each other, whether they're just friends or it's a romantic thing. So do they like decide to meet there? Like, how do they end up going there to talk about all these things that's going on between them?
Yes, they decide to meet there. It's kind of like their thing to go to cemeteries. Yeah.
Wow. And is this the first play that you've written, or have you written other plays?
I've written another play, but it's super long. And I don't even know where it's going. So
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing with this, because like I said earlier, I'm a fiction writer. I write prose. I went to school for fiction and novels. Plays are fun. I love seeing something on stage. It's fascinating to me. It's a new world. And during the pandemic, I was reading plays. I was exploring, because I had time on my hands.
Yeah.
And I was reading a lot of plays by, Fassbender. He's this brilliant German filmmaker. He's very absurd. And I love him, and I think he's brilliant. And he actually was a big influence on my piece because my piece is kind of absurd. So I kind of took on that style
Oh, wow.
through his
It's not-
weird kind of, writing.
Yeah, I could see it. Well, I mean, I hope I can come and see the play. I'm really curious, but I see it as like it's heightened, but yet it's like in reality somehow. I mean, that's kind of what
Right. It's like not real. Yes, it's real. It's kind of like Lynchian. Like Lynch creates those worlds. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know a lot of writers who are fiction or prose writers, and then they love theater, and then they're like, well, I'm gonna try and write something. So yeah, I would say go for it. Keep writing, don't stop. Full-length plays do take longer, because I'm a writer as well. I write short plays, longer plays, and yeah, you really, full-length, you really have to develop like
Right.
scene, and you kind of have to build more of a climax. But I mean, just keep at it, I think.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience because I'm not really a director. You can tell these guys if I'm doing okay because I'm honestly, they're great. They're great actors. I'm learning from them, but I'm trying. Like I'm honestly trying.
That's great. I mean, you want to learn, and that's a great
It's a learning experience. Yeah.
So when the audience comes to see this play, like, what are you kind of hoping they take away from watching it?
That's a great question. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of things, the themes in the play is like living in your truth, do you know what your truth is? And that's something that the philosopher, and the witch kind of have a banter about. So I want them to sort of, even if they question that line, like what is their truth, maybe? If it's just, going to the woods every day, maybe they have something they live by. And I don't know, not only that, I feel like a lot of times we live in a world where the villain likes to play victim. So, sort of think about, people in this culture where we just kind of like to live in our victimhood and we don't want to move on and we like to blame people. And, so are you taking accountability? Are you aware of your actions?
Interesting.
How are you healing and stuff like that? Yeah. Just
Wow.
some points.
That's very interesting. I mean, theater is about one of the things that theater is about, to me at least, is like kind of like you see yourself in someone, one of the characters, a story, or someone else, or it's just like bringing awareness to like your own actions or the actions of other people. I mean, that's one way to look at it. So I feel like just based on what you're saying about your play, this witch won't burn. You're definitely touching on that, like kind of putting the light back on yourself, more. So I think that's wonderful. So during rehearsals, like, have you guys been rehearsing like virtually, in person? Like, what kind of has been your approach as the director of the play?
Oh, for sure. I before I get into, I want to touch back on something that you said that was really great. I think like a good example is we write something, right? We write something and no one sees it. We have this idea, a lot of people do, like, oh, we wrote something, it's amazing. But I feel like writing doesn't really become amazing unless someone reacts to it. Your art becomes something until whether it's a bad or good reaction, then it's really a great piece because someone's able to speak to it. That's what art should do. It should speak to people, other people. So then it really becomes something. So then it really matters. The rehearsals are great. July is going to be more impacted, but we try to meet twice a month. And, we start, I love that we've been doing the cemetery. We did the cemetery one time. And I learn a lot from them. They feed off of each other. I learn a lot about acting, learning your lines, and I'm seeing them really become the characters. And they'll do something that I didn't even write down in the script, but it just kind of works. So,
wow.
I'm gonna just keep that, just like improvise that. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Amira, that's great that you trust your actors so much. I mean,
they're great.
Yeah, Maria, I'm getting to know you now, but I know Serge, he's a very talented actor. I've seen his work. So I think it's great that you're completely trusting them with how they portray the roles.
They have great chemistry. I'm sorry. They have great chemistry. And I love that they're persistent. When we meet up, they come. Like, I love persistence. Yeah.
So dedicated. That's great. Yeah, I mean, acting is all about, listening and reacting. That's one of the things. And yeah. And now I'm curious to talk to the cast, to Maria, Agapi, and Serge. Please tell us about your process as you are like getting more and more in depth with your characters. Maria, would you like to please go first?
Oh yeah, of course. And Amira, thank you so much for your nice words. Yeah, it was really nice. Me and Amira initially started like going through the lines and everything, and then once we also got Serge, then we jumped into it. So yeah, I know maybe it's the first directing job of Amira, but she's doing great. And also me and Serge come up with ideas like, let's do some Meissner technique exercises, repetition and stuff, which always helps. So I think that's what makes us like go deeper. And I think last time we had like an online rehearsal, me and Serge, I'm like, let's just, for example, go behind the lines and tell each other why we're saying each line, because I think that's even more helpful to know why you're saying something instead of just saying it and trying to play it and act it. So I think that's what helps us to define more the character, and then our relationship comes up. Like at some points we connect, and at some parts we argue, and at some parts we both laugh, and it becomes more natural. The more we do it, the better.
Great.
Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, I don't do any crazy backstories by myself. It's all about together. Yeah, figure it out together. That works so much better. Listen to each other, see what comes up. That's so helpful.
It sounds like, Amira, like you have a really nice team of actors, and they have great chemistry and are working really well together. Serge, what about you? What is your approach to your character?
Well, let me see. It's like basically for starters, kind of what Maria said. As we've been like studying with each other lately and doing some repetition, which has been very helpful for us. In order to know our characters and pay attention to each other. And in order to improve our characters. More and more all the time. So it's like, and as I been doing these rehearsals, I kind of like, been getting to, relate to my character, the philosopher, because, for starters, I kind of have like something, a few things in common with him. For instance, he's kind of into the, the gothic, dark, mysterious, strange, and unusual, scenario in society and all that. He has a high IQ, of course, which sometimes I do. And then, of course, he likes reading, he likes books, of course, which is very interesting, of course, and like in order, and also, I'm sorry, what is the only challenging thing about this character for me is that, this guy in particular, he's kind of a vulnerable guy, all right, and he's like suddenly giving up everything over a girl, okay, and that's not really me, okay, so I usually don't think so. I'm trying to trying to figure out how could I relate to that. What do I do to feel something like that, and how do I make that real, all right, for this guy, especially for myself? How can I feel for something just petty like that? So that was like kind of the only challenging thing of trying to make this character real for me. So that's it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, as actors, I'm an actor too, and well, first of all, I really do love that you guys are doing the Meissner exercises. Repetition is one of my favorites because I feel like you're repeating things, but something different happens suddenly. It's like, oh wow, this feeling or the way I said it or whatever. It's came out of nowhere. It's just like there's something about it. And Serge, you touched on a very important point, like when you're playing different characters, sometimes a quality or characteristic of that character is not true to you, but you have to figure out like, well, how can I make this real for me? So I think it's great that that to me demonstrates like your growth as an actor, how you're really trying to connect, even though there's some aspects of that character that are different. And Maria, I think it's great, you know, that you guys are rehearsing like in person and virtually and really just trying to run the play as much as possible. Because I think the more like you repeat something, it just gets better and better. So it's really wonderful that you guys have developed that practice and technique. That's really great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So, Amira, this is a short play, right? Are there other plays or is it full length?
Oh, there's other plays actually. It's I believe 3 other plays.
Okay.
And I'm like, you guys better watch out. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you, after this festival, you know, later on, maybe like down the line, are you going to take the play to other festivals? Are you going to make it longer, or like what are your future plans with it?
I'm totally down with that. I'm also down, if you guys are down, I would love to make like an indie short film like with it. Like I would like to make a film too, you know, or just, you know, but that would be cool. That would totally be cool to see in other places. Sure. Going back to acting, I think it's interesting seeing them act because they both act in, or the way they come at it obviously is in different ways. And Maria said something that was interesting to me. She said, I don't bring in my, you know, my experience when I play something. Like I try not to bring that in. And I always wonder, I'm like, oh God, that's tough, right? Because, you know, when you act, like I never acted, but I see it in that way. Like you'll connect to someone because maybe you've had a similar experience. So when she said that, that interested me. I was like, oh, that's intense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think every actor has different techniques, you know, different ways they kind of like embody the role, the character. And I direct as well, and I feel like, you know, as long as the technique works, whatever technique you like to use. Because I like to collaborate with an actor. That's how I am as a director. I think Amira, you and I are probably similar in that from what I'm hearing. So I'm open to trying new things, and hey, you know, if you want to try this or, you know, say a line a certain way, then I'm like all open for it. And if we don't like it, we can change it or whatever. So I love to collaborate. It really gets like your creative juices flowing. So you had mentioned to me before that you guys are actually gonna rehearse at a cemetery.
Yeah, and take pictures.
Wow. And have you done this before, or is this the first time that you're gonna do that?
So we have a funny story. You want to tell it, Serge? Like what happened in the cemetery? We couldn't get out.
Oh yeah, it was funny, but you know, it was actually a good experience. You know, interesting to be honest. You know, because after rehearsal, all right, you know, the cemetery got locked up, right, and we were stuck inside. But it was very quick, you know. I mean, because I think the time limit was like 5 p.m. or something in our neighborhood, and it locked up, you know, kind of early than that. We were going,
my God.
Yeah, so we were like walking through different directions trying to find an opening, but we couldn't, you know. So we went like, I think like south of the cemetery, and we found like an open drive-through gate. It was still locked, but instead of climbing over or waiting for somebody, we just like went down underneath the opening, which was very big enough for us to, you know, to slide through. But Amira, she didn't go through the same way me and Maria did. You know, she climbed up one of the fences.
You told me to get out.
Very pointy one, all right? I had to give her a boot, right? And luckily she made it over nice and clean, you know?
Oh my God, I cannot believe that happened to you guys.
I think that's
been like freaking out. Like, how am I gonna get out of here? Like,
no,
oh my
definitely. But I think it's interesting because now when I think about it, like I'm gonna always try to tell them, like, when you're on that stage, you can't leave. So it makes their conversation more unbearable, you know, and it gets you into that. Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you like visualize the stage? Are you gonna have any kind of props, or like what's kind of like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, that's a great question. My really good friend, Kayla's an artist, so she's working on our prop. So we got a headstone, of course, and she's mossing it up. She keeps on like sending me texts to see if it's the way I want it to look, and so I'm grateful to her for that. And I want just one. I want to keep it minimal because I think the actors are really strong and they speak. I want them to focus on the actors.
Mhm.
And so a headstone in between Maria and Serge, yeah, essentially, is like the opening shot. Or the
Wow.
open, yeah.
That
And
sounds really like kind of a little creepy, like gritty, like kind of intimate too, because it's like, yeah, there's no escaping, like they're face to face and
right, yeah, yeah.
they talk about whatever they're talking about. Well, I wish you guys a great run. I hope a lot of people come.
Thank you
We'll
so much.
definitely try to come. I want to let everyone know when the performance dates are. So this is part of the New York Theater Festival. You can go on the website. I will post it below too. NewYorkTheaterFestival.com / This Witch Won't Burn. So that's Thursday, July 18th, 9 p.m. Saturday, July 20th, 12 p.m. And then the third and final performance is Sunday, July 21st, 8:30 p.m. I'm so excited for you guys.
Thank you so much. We'd love to have you, by the way.
Thank you.
Come, Julia.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come out.
Yeah, I will, because I think around that time my schedule is a little more like open, because actually I'm currently I have a play in the New York Theater Festival.
Oh, nice.
Full-length play. I'm only directing. The playwright is Hinata Nekos. And we actually opened last night. So we have, yeah, thank you. And it went really well. So Monday, Friday, and then Sunday is our last show. That is a beautiful theater, the Hudson Guild. I'll also post the address. It's a really nice theater. They have a really wonderful lighting system. You can do a lot, Amira, with the lighting.
Yeah, I hired someone on that, so I hope he does well.
Yeah, they have lights at the bottom of the stage, sideways, like all directions, blue, red, like it's very elaborate.
The red I like.
Oh, yeah, so something to keep in mind. So yes, I hope you can all come and see This Witch Won't Burn by Amira Appleblossom. It's been wonderful talking to you, Amira, and Maria Agapi, and my dear friend Serge. I will definitely try to come out and support you guys. And I know, putting a show together takes a lot of hard work. So applause to you. Applause to you.
Thank you.
How long have you guys been
so
rehearsing for? How long has the rehearsal process been going for?
Oh, yeah, we've been rehearsing. I think in person would be, was it May, guys? May or even early? Maybe the first one.
I think we started earlier. I'm pretty sure we started earlier.
Yeah, it's like
month and a half or so.
They can't get rid of me, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can get rid of us.
Yeah, it seems like they don't want to get rid of you, and you don't want to get rid of them either.
But yeah, I think the in person was, I believe, like late April.
Okay.
First in person, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely shows like you guys have all been like collaborating and working on this a lot, which is amazing. So congratulations again. For the viewers, please come and check out This Witch Won't Burn by Amira Appleblossom with this stellar, wonderful cast, Maria, Agapi, and Serge. Please come and check them out. I am posting all the information below. And also, if you want to hear more of our episodes, it's gonna get artsy, shining a spotlight on off-Broadway theater. Please hit the subscribe button and you're going to be notified of all our latest episodes of what is going on in New York City and off-Broadway. See you next time.
Bye,
and goodbye, guys. Take care and have a great run. Break a leg.
Thank you.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.